Hi everyone, Dr. Byrne here. Welcome back to Revive TV. On today's episode, we're going to discuss 4 ways to manage your stress in under 10 minutes per day. Well, welcome back to Revive TV, and I apologise for being off air for quite some time. But today, we've got a great topic around managing stress. Most of us have stresses, whether it's around our work, whether it's relationships, finances, all sorts of things, our kids. But we need to find, and we know that we need to find ways to better deal with our stresses. So today we're going to discuss 4 ways that you can do this in 10 minutes or less per day. Because I know when I'm at my most stressed, I find that trying to find time for myself to calm my mind seems even harder to do than when I'm in a good state. As crazy as that sounds, I think that's the experience of most people. The busier we are, the more and the crazier we are, and the more stressed we are, the more difficult we even seem to be able to find the time for ourselves. So we're going to discuss 4 ways to do that today. So I'm going to walk and talk while I do this. So the first one is going to relate to what you can see in and around behind me, and that is a bit of nature, some green. I'll just do a little bit of a screen around. I'm up at the top of Mount Macedon today. I have my dog Lola, you might be able to hear panting in the background. But it's been shown that green space, getting out into green space for as little as 10 to 20 minutes a day does wonders for our state of being. It calms us. And even the people who perhaps find it hard to obviously not necessarily live where I live, and might not have as easy access to green space. Creating green spaces in your home, plants, even in inner city living, making sure you have somewhere where you've got green space or quick access. If you live in Melbourne, where most of you will hear this from, and you're in the city, there's lots of great parks, lots of areas to get out into. So the first one is to get out and get out into nature. And if you can ground your feet, by that I mean taking your shoes off and actually putting your feet on the ground and connecting, even better. But if you can do that for 10 minutes a day and get out into space, and on days like today, it's much easier to do. So that's the first one. Number 2 is breathing. So a lot of us may have heard of breathing techniques, and there's lots of great places on the internet to be able to go and look if you just want to Google breathing. But it's really about taking in the deep breath down into our bellies. We're going to fill our bellies up, so it's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and just cycling through that. And doing that cycle by concentrating on the breath, it centers our mind and helps us take our mind away from the things that are seen to be causing our biggest stresses. And in the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do when we take these 10 minutes a day to do, is to take our mind away from the things that appear to be causing our stress. So when I talk about breathing, it's nose breathing. So it's a deep breath in through the nose, filling my belly, and then breathing out through the nose. And I find the best way for me to do that is I'm a little bit stiff, so I sit in a chair in the morning, sitting upright, and just concentrating for 10 minutes, just breathing and feeling the breath. Feeling the energy it brings to my body, just breathing in and out. If you want some extra help, Google breathing, and there's lots of great places to do that. The third one, which kind of ties in with breathing, is meditation. Now, before you all tune out and say, I can't meditate, or you hate meditating, or you've tried it and it doesn't work, I understand that, because I've had that dilemma myself, and I still battle with it from time to time. But let's just remember what we're trying to do when we meditate. What are we actually trying to do? We're actually just trying to calm, well, in my mind, this is how I am. I'm trying to calm my mind. I'm trying to take my mind out of future worries or past regrets, and just bring myself back into present time kind of consciousness, and allow myself to be within myself and not worry about everything that's going on. So that's what the aim of meditation is. So different people do different things. I've done courses that have helped and given different techniques. My personal preference, if you are a novice and you're just trying to do it, is just do a guided meditation where someone who's talking you through it, so you can listen to someone else's voice and just follow what they're telling you to do. you can just Google them. There's apps you can buy. Headspace is one that I used to use a while back, but you can just Google guided meditations for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be fancy. And there are lots of different varieties of meditation. Now, I know currently I'm doing some meditation. I'm visualizing some things I want for the future. So there's different types of reasons to meditate, but 10 minutes a day with a guided meditation would be the third easiest way for you to begin that process. Okay, and the final one for today, number 4, is exercise. So when we exercise, we have a release of endorphins, which give us a sense of feeling good. And most people will say that when they exercise, apart from the pain they have from the actual exercise potentially, it's they feel good about themselves and they have this sense of well-being. So high intensity exercise for 10 minutes. One of the things I suggest is a form of high intensity exercise called Tabata. That's T-A-B-A-T-A. If you Google that, Tabata works in 4-minute rounds. So 4 minutes of high intensity, have 1 minute off, then 4 minutes of high intensity and a minute off. There's lots of different workouts, for beginners. Look at those things, and that might be a way of meeting the requirement or helping you with your stress throughout the day. As a bonus, 5th one that's just come to mind before I did this, and make my people laugh, but it's also sex has been shown to have a similar effect of well-being, make us feel good, and release stress as well. So I'm sure for many of us that would be we could all do with more of that sometimes. So but as an extra bonus. So let's just recap. So the first one was getting out in green space. You can see here I'm out in green space again today. I've got my dog Lola maybe behind us, we can see, there she is. So getting out into green space, number 1. 2 is breathing. That's deep breathing in through the nose and just concentrating on the breath. So not thinking about anything, just really focusing on how the breath feels. The third one is to get a guided meditation. Just Google guided meditation, 10 minutes, or you can there's plenty of apps out there. Headspace was one I suggested. Number 4 is doing some high intensity exercise, suggested Tabata. So within 10 minutes a day, you'll be able to help yourself with stress. And the more you feel stressed, the more likely that you're going to need this. So thanks for watching, and we'll be in touch next week for another episode of Revive TV.